Hatha Yoga is a system in which most of the practices starts from outer layer and penetrates to in. So it means start from your current existence, this body, in which practices are mostly from what you experience. For example, you experience physical body, so the practice of physical body. You experience mental body through your thoughts, practice for mind. You experience the senses, practice for that. The goal of these practices are that you need to balance your current existence. And what is your existence? You have a mind, you have a body, which are leading your life. Right now, mind is saying to eat, but the physical body is not well to eat. So mind and body, they're not coordinating right now. Your physical body is very good. You want to practice, you want to, do so many asanas, but you are not mentally ready. You're not motivated. You feel low energy. You feel the environment is not right. So see, the physical body is not really coordinating with the mind. So right now, the mental body and the physical body, they don't go together. They go separate. And this mental body is governed by moon energy. Your physical body is governed by sun energy. So Hatha Yoga practice means when you work with your these two energies, bring them together. So your mind listen the body and your body listen the mind, and they go together in your life. So that's why Hatha Yoga means a balance. Balance of what? Balance of sun energy and moon. Why to balance? Because these two energies are governing your actions, the physical, the mind, mental. And if they don't come together, life is chaos. For example, some days you have so much creativity on the mind. You want to create, you want to make something, but your physical body is not
Nothing
helping
yet.
you. You feel very, very, very much weak. You some days your physical body is very active, but you don't know how to start. Your mental body is not. This is called imbalance. And to balance this, you have a Hatha Yoga system. And inside the Hatha Yoga system, you have asana, you have pranayam, you have meditation, you have pratyahar, you have cleansing. So Hatha Yoga system is different than Kriya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga. Because in Bhakti Yoga, you are more about devotion, not cleansing, not posture, not physical much. Raja Yoga is more about knowledge, but Hatha Yoga is taking care what you have now. The body, the mind, you take care and start going. Most of the asana which you see, they originated from Hatha Yoga system. If you practice Ashtanga Yoga and there is a asana, it is also came from Hatha Yoga. If you practice Iyengar Yoga, you practice many asana, also came from Hatha. Because Iyengar Yoga, Ashtanga Vinyasa, they are not a system. They are a sequencing of asanas. Bikram Yoga,
Это
Hot Yoga, Vinyasa flow, they are not a system. It's a sequencing
разработанная
of
определенная.
how the asana came into existence in Hatha Yoga. Right now, the asana which you see in the chart and in the world people practice, they are mixed with gymnastic and other activities, physical activities. The ancient asanas are not what you see today. Today, asana is focused on the physical shape and physical conditioning. That's why you will see more asana like correction, the alignment. It's more about physical conditioning. Ancient asanas are more about energetical movements, more psychological work, and more came from nature. For example, ancient asanas are based on animals like Bhujangasana, cobra pose, Ustrasan, camel, Makarasana, crocodile, Vrishchik asana, scorpion, Sarvangasana, Mandukasana, Shashankasana, moon pose, Vrikshasana, tree pose. These are the ancient poses which came from animals, which came from nature. These are the real poses. Now the question. Hatha Yoga practice came from Tantra. Why? Because in Tantra, there's a one practice called samyam, the mastery of senses. So you have a five sense of knowledge from where you receive the knowledge and five senses for actions. And so there are five, which means there are 10, and one is mind. So total 11. So in Tantra, you need to master them. So how to master them? Hatha Yoga came. Tantra, which you see today, it's not the real Tantra. In Hatha Yoga, that's why you have a practice of senses mastery. So you practice asana for the physical mastery, you practice pranayam for the mental mastery, you practice pratyahar for your sense of knowledge mastery. Hatha Yoga, as I said, it's a practice of samyam, like mastery. That's why every practice of Hatha Yoga, you do so many efforts. If you practice asana, you hold the asana. But because many people are not able to hold the pose because you feel physical challenges, you feel mind is not stable, you are not flexible, joint is stiff. And because of that, other styles started, for example, vinyasa flow, to move. So before you stay, you move. Ashtanga vinyasa, Vikram yoga, all the sequence, all the dynamic came later. You do dynamic movement because we know joints are not ready, my muscles are not ready. That's why dynamic you do first. So as a beginner, you first do dynamic flow. Then once you become stronger, advanced, you practice Hatha Yoga to stay in one pose longer, longer, longer. So minimum 2-3 minutes each pose, you should have that ability to hold the pose without movement. That is for us, minimum 2-3 minutes. For yogis, it's minimum 2-3 hours. That's why you will see most of the people in the world, they practice more dynamic rather than practice more static. Because their mind and their body is not ready for Hatha Yoga. They need to first train and they like it movement. That's why they like more movement rather than stillness. Because their body more like dynamic, their mind is very difficult to focus in meditation. That's why these people very hard for meditation. And that's why for them new meditation techniques arises like Osho meditation. Dynamic, you dance. There also you dance. And more dynamic meditation. Many people now they are inventing many dynamic meditation. So better to train your body for Hatha Yoga to make your body stable and full control in you so your meditation can become more in the right direction. Now the next part. Why I'm saying to hold. Why Hatha Yoga say to hold? What happens with holding? When you hold the pose, yeah, I'm,
Pulse.
I'm holding. When you hold the pose, you start moving from your external environment, your external outward mental expressions to the inside. Right now, your senses are outside. That's why outer environment disturb your peace. If someone front of you will say something to you, you will be affected because your happiness, your peace depend on someone outside because your senses are moving outward. But in Hatha Yoga, when you start holding the pose, you start going inside and you start realizing that what is the true nature of you. So slowly, you go inside. In dynamic practice, you feel more what? You feel muscles, you feel sweat, you feel the stretching, more outer layer because there's no time to see inside. But in Hatha Yoga, you spend more time so you don't see the stretch. You see how the fascia is working. You see how the blood circulation is going. You see how the heartbeat is changing. You see how the lungs are expanding. And when you cross this layer, physical layer, then you go more inside. You see how the mind is working. You see how the emotions are arising. You
А
see how the
когда
energy is moving. So that's why you stay in one pose longer.
и поэтому вы стоите в какой-то позе, в одной позе длительное время.
Is it clear, everyone?
Всем
Yeah.
понятно?
So that's the difference between Hatha Yoga system in asana is a part of this. Same pranayam also. Pranayam give you that feeling of going inside. So all the Hatha Yoga
По-
practices, asana, pranayam, and other things to start from outside but taking inside. And then you get the strength also. You get the flexibility. You get the stability all together.